So welcome to one of the greats today. Well, it's our first interview and I'm so excited actually because it feels like I've been waiting for a year and a half to create this one interview, and I get to present to you all someone I so admire, and I know you'll discover finally visually with me here, and you will fall in love, I'm sure, because she's amazing. So today we're welcoming Louise Cameron Edlund. And Louise is just that soul that plays with dimensions, that sends you in different worlds, and that just always brings you back to your truth, to your essence. And she does it like a magician. You just haven't seen her do it, and it's so beautiful. And she's also that go-to coach to the stars. But at the same time, she is so grounded, so into being here and now present to the world. And her work is just life-changing. So I'm excited to present to you Louise. Hello, Louise.
Wow, what an introduction. Thank you so much. I feel so blessed to be perceived through your magnificent eyes.
Oh, it's such a pleasure because for all of you here with me, if I know you're listening to the podcast, so you're used to hearing Louise's voice, but I wanted us to really connect and for you to see the energy that she emanates from her because it's so beautiful. And I want to start by asking you this beautiful question because to me, that's like the way we know someone is not, for me, it's not from their past, it's from where they're going. So I'm curious to know what's happening that's new and exciting in your world, Louise. Where are we going with you?
Oh my goodness, I love that question. I love the question because there's such seemingly polarities in what I'm going to say, but isn't that funny and curious? Because life tends to have those qualities. In one way, I feel like this doorway, this path that I have been seeking and yearning for, that I didn't even know what to put it in words, has opened up for me. And it feels so clear. And it's funny because these things that we're yearning for feels like it's going to be hugely different. And it is, and it's not. It's the same things that I've been doing, yet. And Marie, you actually invited me into this reflection. You're saying, oh, it's bringing more of you into what you're already doing. And I was like, yes. So I have been doing ceremony work for many years, and this is partaking in it and receiving medicine work and also facilitating. Something felt so aligned, and yet I was aware of something feeling just slightly off. And through some decolonial work I've been working on and doing and connecting to my roots, you know how it goes. Least thing you're expecting, and you meet the exact right person that you need. And for me, it was a Celtic druid, and my roots are Celtic. I'm Scottish and born and raised in all my generations in Scotland. And so I have been initiated into the druid school and learning from a master and bringing my roots into ceremony and what I'm doing. And I'm a student again, and I feel so enthusiastic and so clear. But where does the paradox come into that? Well, I am mostly excited because I wake up every day and I'm like, oh my God, I have no idea where this is going. I love that. So isn't that funny that I feel so clear? Doorway opened up, been calling this in the depth of my soul, and yet I have no idea where it's going. And the beauty of that is, well, it's limitless possibility and potential, which is very aligned to my quantum work as well.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful when you're saying, yeah, we did talk about bringing more of you, but the way you named it, like bringing my roots in what I'm doing, it feels so powerful. And so tell me more about that part of bringing your roots into it, because I think what I hear when I hear the word roots, I'm feeling the essence, like your essence. So tell me more about that essence, because I taste it every week when I connect with you, but I really want the world to connect with it in through your words.
What an amazing question. Let me take a breath to allow that to marinate. Our essence is our essence. It's there. Always is. We know that. There's nothing we need to do to be connected to source. There's nothing we need to do to be connected to the absolute phenomena of existence. It's always there. And what often happens a lot is that people see us through their eyes. Like, Marie, you were sharing and introducing me, and I'm like, oh, wow, that person sounds amazing. Oh, it's me, and people receive our essence every single day. And many people say this, wow, what would the world be like if you lived your life seeing yourself through the eyes of those who see you and really see you? And what I feel I'm doing is I'm beginning to deepen my consciousness of who I am. And that includes taking a moment to look behind the shoulder and be like, wow, there have been so many lives that have come before me. And I'm only here because of them. That's my roots. That's my history. And I know we've all done ancestral shadow work stuff. And, we can probably go to journals where we've got pages and pages of things we've had to clear and continuing to clear and all that stuff. But there is a time, when we go way back to where there was nothing to heal from, and our ancestors were living in a way that we dream about in our hearts to return to, and the gifts that is in ourselves. And as I have been turning behind my shoulder and connecting to my ancestors in a very different way to perhaps I've done before, with this reverence. And I might have said I had this reverence before, but this is something, I have chills when I'm saying this. Like, I'm really honoring them and taking responsibility for a path, for a legacy that I have perhaps been avoiding a little bit along the road because it feels big. Oh, wait, shit, I can't run from this responsibility. It's actually one of the reasons I'm here. And as I'm connecting to where it comes from, well, now there's a new potency to where I'm going. And this is the essence of my purpose. And I'm becoming conscious of that. I'm seeing myself. I'm seeing my lineage. I'm seeing my purpose. And the more I see the reason for my existence, the more this light shines and emanates from outside into the world. So it's hard to put it in words, right? But that's where I feel like taking it today.
But I so love what you said, because to us, and I didn't make the link as I was asking you that question, but to us in French, essence is kind of fuel. And what you've been telling me right here, what I'm getting from that is, like, now that I really see what's been there before me, well, like what has brought me to this day, it's like I'm ready to bring all of this forward to blossom. So I'm like taking all of this fuel to be even, well, not be even more of you. You're just being you, but allowing it in now. And wow.
Wow, I never knew that about the word essence. And it makes so much sense for what I'm feeling within me, like I shared, the fuel that sustains our legacy. And I like to take it a stage beyond legacy, the prophecy. We're here for a prophecy that goes way beyond the legacy, way beyond destiny. And where does that come from? From all of the support that has been before us. So my goodness, I love it. What a beautiful connection that you've brought in there with the meaning of words. And I know you know a lot about my, human design and gene keys. And there's something about words for me that's so
That's your purpose, right? That's your purpose, keys, gene keys 62. And you're so, it's that energy of precision, but your words are so precise. And that's why I so love to do this with you, because I'm like, I know people will get the I'm saying the essence again, but they will get it because you have a way to put it together in a way that connects to us. We feel like, because there's such a precision, we feel the vibration. I love that. I love receiving those vibrations. Yeah. Well, it's been like every single week when we connect, that's what I'm feeling. And if you didn't listen to the podcast episodes yet, I mean, you're going to have breakthroughs after breakthroughs after breakthroughs. Like the magic that happens on that in those episodes is just magic. So I'm inviting you to go take a look at it. But let's go back to you, Louise, because you're here with us. So let's take advantage of that, because there's this, I really, you have something very, very strong in you that always comes back to your vision. And I'm always almost going to say a stubborn way of coming back to your vision, but it's so beautiful. I love it. Like there's determination. Like when you have this idea, you're so connected to it. And I feel that's something that we could definitely learn from you. I remember the first time I met you, that was like over a year and a half, but you had that vision. You've never, like, for a second, forgotten that vision. It's like you've always went back to it. What's your secret to being in that energy? So I don't want to say so effortlessly, because I know that you're doing the work, but at the same time you hold that, like that vision isn't like it's on the way, but you hold it so beautifully. Like, yeah, so what, that's my question, how do you hold it?
Well, give me a snippet, just a very short snippet of
Let's
the vision.
Let's start with the Justin Bieber. Like the moment Justin Bieber appeared in your life, I mean, that took you like that's your destination.
Oh my goodness. Yes, absolutely. So I'll just give a very short backstory to this. And again, this happens time and time again. You're really on track, but something feels off. It's like, what? Should be so grateful for what I'm doing. I'm doing what people only get to dream about, yet I can't ignore nor deny the feeling that is screaming to me, you're off, something's off, you're going the wrong way. And for me, I spent some time in meditation and the feeling of who I want to be working with and the type of leaders. And that came from within me, this deep desire for a change that I know and understand I can't create on my own. So I'm looking around the world and I'm saying we need people embodying a leadership that I align with, people that are really here to hold the light and to go into the hearts of people all over the world and create impact. Okay, who are these? I'm calling them in, and my mind would maybe go to certain types of people. And I allow my mind to do that. And I keep connecting to the feeling. How does it feel? How does it feel? And I wait for the signs. And Justin Bieber came in as a sign for me. And I was like, oh my God, my body just responded. That's it. This is who I'm supposed to work with. I'm supposed to work with the Hollywood stars. That's it. It's that level of impact that I'm here for, because if I can support someone like Justin Bieber, who has millions upon millions upon millions of followers, then that's the level of impact. I'm a projector. Less is more. So I'm here to support the people who are generating the millions into their field. Great. And when my body and my intuition ripple and say, yes, I run with it. And I love the way that you said that the word like stubbornness for a vision. And it's true. Some people might perceive me at times as stubborn or this rigidness. And I'm like, absolutely welcome that. I am going to be so stubbornly me that I don't care what anybody thinks. This is it. And of course, my mind will come in and tell me all the reasons why I'm, making a fool of myself, having these visions. But it doesn't matter when you're really connected to your intention for doing this. And it's so important for it to go beyond yourself. This is, like I said at the beginning, this is legacy stuff. This is even going beyond a legacy. This is a whole entire prophecy that I believe that not only me, but certain people, certain souls have a contract with, that we're here to come together to create this greater change as a collective. Okay, who are they? Show me. And when I made that commitment to my intuition, miracles happened. I would receive phone calls literally days later, connecting me to a Hollywood actress to work with me out of nowhere. But it's not nowhere in the sense that I didn't, do anything, maybe not as we expect it to be done. I connected into myself in such a deep level, and I was willing to say, what sort of level of impact am I here for? And be open to how that was to be. Okay, show me. Because my mind is limited. I would never, ever, ever have came up with me being the coach facilitator to that level of star. It wasn't there, but it made sense when I was open to being shown. And when I get it coming through, you can swat these ideas away so easily and be like, ha ha ha, isn't that funny? But that's a lot of the reasons why people come to work with me, because these little things, haha, isn't that funny? I'm like, that one. And someone's putting it as a flyaway comment. I'm like, no, well, let's laser in there and let's grow this and commit to these intuitive nudges, because your connection to source is always leading you for the highest good. And so that's the formula. You tune in and you connect to yourself. You have the courage and willingness to ask yourself, what level of impact am I here for? Show me, and I'm open. And when it comes through, that's my action. People say, what's your aligned action? Sometimes I'm like, I don't know yet. I'm just going to sit back. But when I know it, and I go in like a laser beam, and nothing stops me, because I believe in my intuition so strongly and so deeply that I know it's going to guide me and bring everything that I need to me, because that's how it works.
Mm-hmm. I love that you put it so easy, like 1, 2, 3, and that's it. But I also, what I felt like maybe going into more is that courageous part. Because I find that, I love the way you said, be willing to claim what you desire. But it just feels like for most people, so far what I've seen, and maybe we're not talking necessarily people in the personal development, but for most people still on the planet right now, to dream that big, or to allow, not to dream that big, they're able to dream that big, but to allow it in, that's the real desire, is such a, well, I don't think the word is even a stretch. It's just blocked.
Mm-hmm.
And how have you, I love my how questions, but how have you made space to allow that? Just because I feel there, a part of me hints, and I may be wrong and you'll tell me, but there a part of me hints that you haven't always been like that. This allowing now, this courageous allowing of what really is, that your real mission, the real extent of your work wasn't always that way. Do you know what shifted?
It's funny because, when we get a question, so many ways we can answer it, and it's all kind of true. And I can tell you a lot about where I was off in, the usual things one might expect. Overworking to compensate for, the inner work that I hadn't done, and the lack of love I had for myself, and how I was, getting that mirrored to me and working to avoid it, and, the drinking and blah, 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 blah. But what I actually seen come through was the fighter. And I have actually always had that, to be honest. I had a paper round when I was in like primary school, and, in Britain, that's when you're like 5 to 11. Scotland, raining, cold, pouring, but I was determined to have my independence and earn my few pounds. I mean, it wouldn't have been much. And then I was in high school, and I was determined, even though I didn't need to do it, to get a job at a supermarket. And when I went to uni, I continued that, and I lived this lavish lifestyle as a student. And, we'd go to LA and Las Vegas because I had this yearning for this extraordinary life. And I thought if I could just get to LA and have a superstar fall in love with me, then I would be living the dream, I had this fighting. And, when I left university, it was just in the like slight hangover of the financial crash in the early 2000s, and no jobs, no opportunities. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to become self-employed, fresh out of university, no business experience. It was a physiotherapy degree, so no business degree. And I just was like, well, this is my option, and I'm going to pave my path, and I'm going to have this determination in this fight, no matter what. I also gave that all up. I gave everything up, and I worked so hard to get myself from this, fresh, naive, young woman to build this successful business. And I gave it up to start fresh all over again. And I was like, I've got to follow my heart, and I know I'm going to make it work no matter what. And if it doesn't work, then I'll make it work. And I carried this throughout my life, and life has, like all of us, it's beaten me down. People say like that's what a diamond is. It's just resilience under pressure. And I just kept getting back up, and kept getting back up, and getting back up, and in fighting for my life. But it's funny, it sounds dramatic, and yet it's not. And I'm going to get everyone to just breathe into your hearts for a moment, just real belly breath all the way up to your heart. And, I say this with such love, and I want you to feel, so safe within these words. But for those who work with me, I'm soft and I'm loving, but I'm going to go through and say what I need to say like a laser. And I know it's not new to you, but this is life or death. Breathe that in for a moment. We are fighting for our lives, and we can change that word fighting to whatever one, might align to us, because it doesn't need to sound, it's more like a race sort of fight. It's a fun word when I use that, but it is a matter of life and death, because if we don't listen, if we don't listen to ourselves, and if we don't have the courage to not take our vision as some lackluster dream or pie in the sky cloud, we will go to our last breath with a regret that we didn't allow ourselves to be fully born here into this earth with the freedom that is, we can call it God-given or source-given or whatever word we choose, given to you for you to live your life and to trust your connection to source and these visions that you have. And I am not willing to go to the end of my life with the kind of regrets that actually I allowed other people's judgments, or maybe it's not even their judgments, it's just what I judge that they might judge, that I allowed that to make me lesser of who I am. Now, does that mean that I'm always fully myself? Absolutely not. Does it mean I'm still influenced? Yes, of course. But there is the willingness within me to keep getting up and keep trying and be willing to, you know, all of the cliche things, to be willing to be imperfect and to be willing to get it wrong. Because I know I'm here for something that I cannot understand with my mind, and I will not stop until I have paved a path that will be in some way, shape, or form the hope that the future generations need, the light. I will be that bridge, and I will do it in a way that's between me and God and me and source, or me and the universe or divine, or whatever we will intuitively do it. And I will not stop until those people who feel aligned to receive the transformation through my work fulfill their legacy and prophecy too, because it is life and death. And if we took it that serious, we would change some things.
So true and beautiful. And I know all of you will want to come back to this episode and re-listen over and over again just for that part. But what I want to say to all of you, one of the greats, is that this deep yearning that Louise has, that you're feeling connected to, we know you have it too. We know that. And what made it possible for Louise is that permission. She allowed herself to, she gave herself that permission to pave her path. And obviously, when you choose to be one of the greats, you're choosing to pave your path. There's no other way. You cannot follow a recipe. That's not who you are. So here you have an invitation to connect to even more of you. And as Louise was saying, is just keep getting back up. But it's more than that. It's keep the aliveness going. And that is so beautiful and powerful. So huge thank you for bringing this here today. It feels so amazing. And so what is, because I love the way you're so in flow with life. That's the first thing I think I noticed about you, was that flow with life. And it just feels, well, what comes to mind is, first of all, how can we get in that flow with you? If people want to connect here with you, if they want to get to know you, how can they connect with that flow and be with you, like get to know you better?
Great question. And it's funny because I think I know what you're meaning when you say that. And yet how I also want to answer this is, we are all connected way beyond this physical world. And so if you desire to be in more connection with me, what I want to say is how do you choose to be in more connection with yourself? Because I know that the way true collaborations occur is really organic and almost magical in essence. And I know the more you show up for yourself and the more I show up for me, because we're all equals here. You know, I'm just here sharing my story, and I know you're actually on the same level as me. We're equals. It's just that I am bringing something to the table that's different to what you're bringing to the table. And we're all going to share and swap in that. So connect to your flow, connect to yourself, be really clear on what you're calling in, even if it's the feeling or the depth of the impact that you're here for. And it will become so obvious and apparent that we are supposed to connect even deeper.
I love that.
And you know, let's answer it the way I think you were meaning it, is you can check me out on the podcast, the ShapeShifter that I do with Marie. You can go ahead and go to my YouTube channel, Louise Edlund, and go into some of my activations. Hey, they're also available on my Instagram link tree. When you click on that, Louise Edlund, connect with me on my stories on my page. But hey, connect with me in the field. Connect with me in the rawness of our lives and our hearts, where we are already connected, and I feel you and I breathe with you and I'm behind you and you're behind me.
I so love how connected we are, because I really meant that, ask the question the way you answered it initially, but I also meant the other way. And I was like, how can I put that now? So I love that you answered both ways at the same time. It's like, that's exactly what I was looking for. And I love that you made that space. And because, yeah, that's like, flow is just, you know, when you know. So when you know that you want to go there, you're going to go there. You know, you're going to follow what you know. And so it was a beautiful way for you to guide us there. And the other thing that comes to mind, I don't know why it comes to mind, but it's this idea of not this idea of, it's, we're always, every time we connect, we work in the now. We're terrible at planning. Actually, we can't plan. We can't plan. We can't follow a recipe. We're paving we're paving the path right now. So, and there's this idea, and you're saying you're a bridge, and I'm saying, like, let's put a brick on the bridge right now. One more. And that brick right now feels to me like, what is that thing? What do you feel like saying to one of the greats, that person that's like, they're on their way, they know they're on their way, but they're not totally there yet? What comes to mind? What angle do you feel like giving it today?
Okay, I love it. I love how it's today.
And it's really this second, if we're honest.
Absolutely.
Because I know all day you would shift the different ideas, but now what comes, like, now is the perfect moment. That was the only moment. So what comes up now?
Yeah, we didn't call it ShapeShifter for no reason. We're always shape-shifting. And that's what I love. Permission to just ebb and flow and change. But if I'm tuning in now, and I'm just going to speak on behalf of a theme in my clients right now, who are incredibly successful, like, you know, these words don't even cut it. Heartfelt impact, souls, doesn't cut it. But hey, language limits us, and that's the best we got. the theme that comes up is, of course, we're asking because we're honoring our desires. I have this vision. Hey, I know this is my destiny. I'm here for this. And I know that I get to ask for this. And it's great because every single thing serves us until it doesn't. And every single thing that's someone's antidote is someone's, poison, and that changes a lot. So we need to understand, where are we at within our tools that we're using to be the poison or the medicine. So usually we're asking a lot. This is my vision. I need this. I want this. I desire this. I'm here for this. However many ways we might say it. Whenever we are feeling that this is not here and now, of course, we're in a vibration of the lack. And there's a point where it's no longer about the asking for it. It's receiving it. It's being open to it. And I always say to my clients, yeah, but if we trust, we trust. And the reason that I say this is because it's something I say to myself continually. It's like, Louise, do you trust your path and your journey? The answer isn't always yes. It's not always an embodied yes, but that's what I, clear up. If you are to really trust, and you've already asked for it again and again, and even if you don't consciously know what you're asking for, your soul does. So if we really trust, how do we actually show up differently in our days? And that's where I create spaciousness from. That's why I create and live my own life and rules, because I give myself the permission to take decisions as if it's already come in. Now, that's going to look different for all of us. And it's not usually these massive steps and jumps. It's the little steps and movements. And, another way I can say what I'm saying to connect to all of us here is when we're in the dips, when we're in those moments of doubts, because contraction, expansion, that's how it all works. But when we're in the contraction, what is the next available thought to me that feels really good for my nervous system and feels really good for my body? And hey, I might not go big and impactful in my vision, and that's okay. We don't always maybe embody those feelings of, yeah, that's going to happen. So day by day, moment by moment, second by second, choosing whatever thought or action that will make you feel that you are one of the great ones, because you are, and you've got nothing to prove for this. You don't need to have the thing in the bank or the followers or I don't know, whatever stuff we have in our mind. You don't need any of that. The most important thing that you will ever need is your connection to yourself and your connection to source. So park everything aside, get the pieces of paper that you've written down everything you want in those moments and scrumple it up, throw it away, breathe, and be guided from that force within and all around you. And you will always know what to do, even when you don't know what to do.
Wow, I so received this as a deep, deep, deep reverence for the dream. You've asked for it. If you have a deep reverence, you're not going to keep on asking, right? You've asked. And then, so that's when trust comes into play. And I love it because this week I was saying, trust is your magic wand. Keep trusting and know that the answer is coming. I so love that. Thank you for bringing this here today. It's so powerful.
And it's like the very beginning when you asked that first question, and I'm like, oh, it's funny because it's very opposing things I'm going to say. It's the same with our growth and our expansion. In one sense, there are things to do. There absolutely are. Like, I have a huge vision, just like each one of you. And I know some some serious stuff is going to have to happen, and I'm going to have to take steps. But to me, the priority is the faith is my action. And I am willing to do nothing and be at peace in the non-doing until the nugget comes in and I go like a laser. And I know we all work differently, but you have permission to let go of or repel, because that's how magnetism works. We talk a lot about the attraction, don't we? But no one's really talking about the repelling energy that gets to go into this. Like, you get to repel and say no and set these audacious energetic boundaries in your life and create the spaciousness that you need for what it is you've been asking for to come through. And an example of that for me is, like, I'm no enlightened master here talking. When I'm sharing what I'm sharing, I'm also talking to myself. And recently I was in the dip, I was in the pause, and I'm like, something's off. And my default mode, or my fear mode, or egoic mode, or whatever we might call that, was, okay, I've got to make this happen. Okay, you've got to really focus your energy in figuring this out. My intuition was saying, actually, no, you've got to step back and you've got to not be available for anything right now. And I literally nothing. I was willing to let go of, clients and money and this and that, and give myself space. And I went away to, a medicine festival. And first of all, before that, even I took time off and went to Sweden. And it didn't make sense to my goal. It didn't make sense in that way. But when I created the space and I allowed myself to step back and step in, one day I was at a festival, and it was Medicine Festival, if anyone knows this, who opened the ceremony was this guy called Chris Park, and he was Celtic druid. And I just knew, I was like, this is it. This is who I've been calling into my life. And I didn't even know. This druid school that I'm initiated into and working in, I didn't know I was looking for this. But I'm like, oh yes, this is what I want to receive. And that's the trick, isn't it? To come out of the asking and the wanting and into the spaciousness, to open yourself up, to actually pause. We've heard this before. It's probably not new what I'm going to say. To allow it to find you. And you probably don't even know. You probably think you know. You probably got it written down in your manifestation list, just like I have. And it never fucking works out that way. And it makes me so excited every time. I'm like, oh, I could have never, like Justin B, I could never have imagined this. I could never have had this in my manifestation list. Druid mentor school. Oh, wow. I would have never freaking guessed. That's, when we say it, be available for the miracles, that's what it is. The miracle is the thing that's really aligned to you, that you're really calling in, but you maybe just haven't quite had the courage or the consciousness to say that.
I love it. Like, of course, like everybody else, everything you're saying here is nothing new, but it's always in perfect divine timing. And it's exactly what I needed to receive. And it's funny because this morning I picked a few oracle cards to guide me. And of course, they were saying, take time off. And I totally was refusing. There was no way I was going to take time off. But now you sold it to me quite good. And now it's like, oh my God, yeah, let's make space for spirit to answer.
Absolutely. And it's funny because when I think about the type of clients that I work with who are wildly successful already, and a lot of people that come to me, it is manifestation work, but at some point we kind of have a sense of the mainstream energy to the manifestation. And of course we can play with the idea, but often I just like cut a laser down through it, and it's so simple. It's so simple. Love yourself enough to live every moment of your day to the best of your abilities, the way your heart wants to guide you, and to live your life knowing that you are supported by Source. There is nothing you have to do. Do what you love. Do what feels important to your heart. And miracles come in. And it's so simple, and so many layers of conditioning come up. I feel you. I go through it, and I'm going through it. But keep it as simple as you can. And it really comes down to, yeah, but what really matters to you right now in this moment? And if that's dancing naked, singing around a tree, that is actually the aligned action. Like, people, like, there's no joke. That's it. And often people are going in a direction because they think that's what the successful person does. But it's coming back to your nature. And as you said, Marie, to me earlier, it's bringing more of who you are into this world. That's literally it. Like, one of my intentions is that we all laugh at how easy and simple and wholesome this all really is. So take the moment, gather your tribe, throw your clothes off, dance around that tree and throw the flowers and let your hair go wild, if that's what is calling to you. Because trust me, when you go fully into those flows, the moment you step out of your naked free ritual and ceremony singing to the earth is the moment that it comes in. If that's aligned to you, by the way. But I mean, when you get that strange random nugget come in, do you know what? Fuck this. If I could really just do what I fucking wanted to do, I'd just close my laptop down, put my feet in the soil, make a daisy chain, and read a poem to a flower. Yeah, that's it. Go do it.
So, I mean, I'm just very, very, very grateful for what we experienced today. And I know that there's not a single soul here listening that's not fired up for their dream. That's not like, oh my God, I'm building this and it's happening. It's the next step. And I know exactly that I'm the queen or the king that's going to bring it to life because it's in my heart. So thank you for making it so simple and clear. That's the precision again. I love it. So I'm so grateful, and I know people are going to discover you are going to explore your world even more. And I also invite all of you to listen to the next episode of the podcast and go back to listen to all of them because they're absolutely fire. So thank you again for being here. Any last words?
I just want to say a real heartfelt thank you for everyone who has showed up to even dare to either perceive or even begin to perceive themselves as one of the great ones. I know how much that takes. And again, it's back to the irony. And I was holding a ceremony yesterday and the theme really came up, and I was sharing the irony. It takes a certain arrogance to be here and claim yourself to be that. And yet, on the contrary to that, is we know how humbling it is to have the arrogance, or I know Marie was sharing the stubbornness, the rigidness, the arrogance to hold the vision for yourself in this world and be like, no, that nothing that is not this will not do. And I am here to pave and walk this path together with the great ones who are here to not be any greater than anyone else, but to simply follow the guidance from within and embody all of who they are, to be allowing themselves to be fully born into the earth, to lead this new way, and dare to have that arrogance. And when you keep yourself in service to your heart and what really matters beyond yourself, that's a great one. The humbled heart who's here for something they can't comprehend, something that is bigger than a legacy. It's more than destiny. It's a prophecy of a collective group who are coming to serve in very many different ways and unique perspectives. How we create that life that we're really yearning for. So thank you for all the work that you've done. Thank you for being my inspiration. Thank you for being an equal. Thank you for everything that you are doing and have done to get to where you are. And if you haven't given yourself that recognition today, look yourself in the mirror and be like, wow, you are here. And you are a great one.
And at the same time, I just want to, I come back one level deeper, as you were saying in the beginning. And thank you to all our ancestors who brought us here to this day.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. We're really not alone in this. And I love that word fuel. Wait a minute, I forgot the word.
Essence.
It's so funny. That is the fuel to when you finally stop and turn around and be like, okay, I'm here for this. I'm here to fulfill this legacy, this path of everyone, and have so much reverence for every single person who's come before me. That's what supports us in serving everyone who is here to come. Absolutely.
Thank you again.
Thank you.